Hey, I'm Dave Watkins, Watkins Films, and we are dangerously close to Halloween. I want you to check out this new shirt I got from Fright Rags. Now, this has the character Sam from Trick or Treat on it, and he's got his sucker here, the uneaten one, and then the one after he takes a bite out of it. And I've also got an actual prop of the eaten sucker as well, and that's what we're going to be talking about today is the 2007 horror film and a new 4K UHD transfer of it by Arrow Video. And this is a collector's edition set here, a limited edition. We're going to take a look at that in just a few minutes. But this is a 2007 horror anthology film directed by Michael Dougherty. He also directed after this Krampus. But this is an awesome Halloween movie, and it just gives you, when you're watching the film, to me, it gives you like that Halloween vibe, the whole film. It takes place on one night, and it has 4 intertwined stories. And there's also a kind of a beginning, like short, small scene with a couple who get attacked. But it's most of it's predominantly 4 intertwined stories that take place on one night in this town in Halloween, and there's jack-o'-lanterns all over the place. They have like a street fair that's looks pretty like a lot of fun to be in. The film stars Dylan Baker as like a principal who's unhinged. It also has Brian Cox in it. If you saw Succession, he played Logan Roy on it, and also Anna Paquin, who played Sookie on the show True Blood. But here this let's go ahead and take a look. Now we're gonna talk a little bit more about the plot here in a bit, and the 4 stories, but let's go ahead and take a look at this release. So this is an Arrow exclusive slipcover. You can only get this on their site. The normal one, if you order, it's going to have this cover on it. Now, I do like both of them. It was a hard choice. I ended up going with this one because it is exclusive, but they're both cool. And here's this one here, and then there's a reversible there's a reversible insert here that has this other collector's edition cover. And there's some cards in here. Now this is from one of the stories where these 4 kids go to this quarry where there's a wrecked bus, and the backs have that on there. This one here is Brian Cox and the director. It's a behind the scenes shot. Here's the bus of these kids in the flashback sequence where there's these mentally disabled kids who are driven off this cliff into a marble quarry lake, and then they drowned. It's pretty horrific. Here's the character Sam that we're going to talk about here more in just a minute. Here's a Brian Cox's character, Mr. Krieg, with a shotgun. Here is Anna Paquin and Dylan Baker. Here's an advertisement. Now, some of these, I've noticed some people online have gotten advertisements for some upcoming Friday the 13th releases. Unfortunately, mine didn't come with that. And there's also a booklet here that has pictures and information about the movie. Pretty awesome. And there's a reversible poster here. So we got both of the covers on this side and then on the back side. This is an anthology horror film. In a way, it's similar to something like Creepshow, but it's pretty awesome the way that the stories are intertwined. It's almost like a horror version of Pulp Fiction. And there's also another film that's like a kind of crime drama comedy called Go that reminds me of that, the way that the short stories are intertwined and the characters are intertwined. It's done very cleverly, and I've watched this movie lots of times, and we're going to talk about the transfer between this. There's also a previous Scream Factory release that this cover art is friggin' amazing, and now this is badass here. Now, there was something about this era release. There's only a 4K, so I guess that's a good thing because now I've got I have a Blu-ray and a 4K version of it, but I definitely wouldn't want to get rid of this because this cover art is badass, and also on the inside. That's what the inside of that one looks like. The 4 stories are there's a principal played by Dylan Baker, and he's kind of gone. I guess maybe he does this on other Halloween, but he's also a serial killer and he kind of goes over the edge. I'm not going to go into full spoilerific details with all this stuff, but I'm just going to kind of go over it slightly. and all these, when they're happening, they're told out of order, and they're kind of go between each one, so it feels a little smoother than if you're watching Creepshow and it's like, here's a story, here's a story. They're all kind of flow, and then they're shown throughout the film. One of the other stories involves werewolves, and the werewolf one is it's not as subtle as the other ones when it happens, because it's really like the biggest supernatural creature that you see, and it's kind of right in your face. And then the other story is about the four kids that go to the marble quarry, and they're trying to play a trick on this one girl, and it goes into flashback of these mentally disabled kids who are on a bus, and then they're killed by their bus driver. But then they eventually come back to life, and it's a fairly gruesome story. And then the last one is about Brian Cox's character, who is kind of like a Scrooge character, and he's attacked by the Sam. The Sam character here and on my shirt, he's seen in every one of the stories, but most predominantly in the story with Brian Cox's character, as he shows up at his house and he fights. It's very similar to like the doll story in Trilogy of Terror, but he's fairly relentless in the attack against him, and it's a pretty awesome part of it. And now the Sam character, I remember first reading about Sam, and I was thinking, like, they were really pushing him, like he's going to be the next horror icon. And I was thinking this thing might turn into the next Jar Jar Binks, but it's not at all. To me, it is a horror icon, and that would be awesome to see him in more stuff. But here, so the Sam character is, as you see, he's got an orange jumpsuit. He's played by a kid, and I think at some points he's got to be played by a stuntman, because there's some stunts near the end of it. And he also has a kind of burlap sack over his head. Later on, when the sack gets taken off, his face looks like a mutated pumpkin. A very awesome character, and Sam is in Samhain, like of Halloween night. So he kind of is the Halloween night presence, and he kind of has to follow the rules of Halloween. It makes him make the choices that he makes during the night. Now, as far as the transfer of this, I did look at it compared to the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray actually looks really good in itself, but it doesn't have like a 4K transfer or anything of that nature. But the transfer here does look nice. This new 4K Arrow release, it does look better. The blacks are deeper and darker, and you do see more detail in some areas. It's interesting, they actually did change the color in some scenes a little bit. Like if something's kind of orange, it's like more orange in the 4K or more blue. So it did seem like they maybe mess with the color a little bit in comparison to the Blu-ray, but it looks really good. I'm glad that I got the 4K. It's an awesome set. I think Arrow did a terrific job on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and rate the film. I really love this film, and to me it's like an essential Halloween viewing, and I'm going to give it 4.5 stars for the movie. I'm going to give the transfer 4 stars, and I'm going to give the package of Arrow 4 stars. Anyway, if you've seen this film, let me know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, if you'd like this video and subscribe to my channels, or I do have 2 channels. I have another channel called Lumber Baron of Jasper County. You can check that one out. And I released a Halloween-themed episode a couple days back. Anyway, I'm Dave Watkins. Thanks for watching.